Hello, this is me, Daniel East 1000, back again with another video, and today we're going to kick it off with a haul video. As you can see, I've got a couple of bits and pieces here, but there is more. I can assure you there is more. So just to run through the stuff that's on the table, all these were bought online through various different retailers. We've got Zuckus. Now this guy, a lot of people have probably already picked him up. I know for sure in the US because he has been available for absolutely ages in the US. But for us guys in the UK, it's been a bit of a wait for him. If you wanted him, it was a case of paying through the nose. Though kindly enough, Star Action Figures, I think, have managed to strike up a deal with Hasbro. I'm not sure the ins and outs of it. So I pre-ordered him from them. I did it just a couple of weeks ago. Just a bit of a spur of the moment. I realised, damn, I hadn't pre-ordered him yet, and I've been kind of umming and ahhing it. Finally bit the bullet. I have him now, and I'm super happy he's in my collection. He's a really, really cool figure. And more importantly, he rounds off the Empire Strikes Back Bounty Hunters, which I'm absolutely super stoked about. I have them all now. Next up is one that my girlfriend actually picked up for me. It is none other than the Scarif Squad Stormtrooper leader. I've probably got that completely wrong, but this guy for some reason has been a pain in the backside for me to find. They did do a Walgreens exclusive where it's just the standard Scarif Stormtrooper, not the, Commander one that we've got here. And I picked him up and I had to pay through the nose for him. I'm not even going to say how much I paid for it, but that one's become quite hard to find. And for a long time, this one has, until all of a sudden, Amazon have put him up for about the RRP price. Really, really pleased with him. He's really, really cool. I love the blaster, and I love the squad markings that variate it from the standard one. Do love my Stormtroopers, as we'll find out in a bit. So next up we have these four. I purchased on the same day but from different retailers. Hera and Sabine I got off Star Action Figures. They didn't have the other two which I was wanting, which was Kanan and Ahsoka, vice versa with Kapow Toys, who I bought those two from. And I mainly really picked these up as a group because they've just released Ezra and Chopper, and I'm pretty sure when they release Zeb, these guys could potentially become quite hard to find. So I'm really happy that I've got these. I think they're all fantastic figures. Anyway, so that's the things I've bought online. Today I went to the Entertainer because I've heard a lot of rumblings online that some of the things they've had as coming soon have started to pop up in their shop. Specifically, I was looking for the Solo Black Series exclusive, I forget what exclusive store it was to, Chewbacca. It's the variant, if we can call it that, where he's got the Vandal 1 goggles, the big shotgun rifle, and he just looks really badass. He's got the new bandolier and stuff, and it said that the store that I was going to had it in stock. And there was another thing that I was interested in purchasing if they had it, but the Chewbacca was the main one. So I get there, I have a look on the pegs, and nothing there. So I'm kind of like, here we go. So I asked the staff member, and they buzz over for someone to come and look for it. And the guy comes over, and he's actually got this in hand, and I kind of freak out a little bit, and I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of wanting that as well. And it's this. This thing is so sweet. So awesome. But I'm going to go on a whole tangent. I was almost going to go then, but I'm going to have one in a minute. But this thing is awesome. This thing's absolutely fantastic. I love battle packs. And this has done it right. This has done it right. Unfortunately, they couldn't find the Chewbacca. I was a bit miffed about that, even though they did say they had it. So yeah, I was kind of like jumped at the bit at this, even though it wasn't the main thing I went for. It's just loads of troopers from the Solo movie. And with me saying that, that brings me to my little spiel about this line of figures. Like with every other Star Wars film release, we've had a Force Friday, at least in some capacity. And when it came to Solo's Wookiee Wednesday, Wookiee Friday, whatever they were dubbing it as, people like me went skipping out to the shops, and we were greeted with nothing because, of course, Toys R Us is shut. The only real retailers that we've got are Entertainer and Smiths. Smiths you don't even bother with anymore because they are just clogged to the brim with Force Awakens, Rogue One, and Last Jedi stuff. So literally Solo figures were just not available at all. I think towards the start of this year where we got 3-4 inch Solo figures, and we've only had the first wave. Second wave's come in drips and drabs at TK Maxx, not solid stuff, just like one figure per store kind of deal. I think TK Maxx did have over Christmas some of the vehicles, but they went like that, and it's just been a real pain in the arse to find these figures. I'm just praying that Entertainer's going to get the single-carded wave of figures come in at some point. But they've managed to get this one in, and this was one of the main ones that I was wanting, just due to how many Stormtroopers you get. And this was RRP in at 50 quid. I didn't pay that. You're getting these for 20. 20 quid for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 figures. And that's just phenomenal. So Entertainer's doing the Lord's work here in terms of figure collectors. But the only way you can really pick up the single-carded figures is to go onto online retailers. And just to further continue this, I went to the Disney Store, and again, Disney Store is not somewhere I tend to check anymore. For some reason, for a company that has bought Star Wars, they don't seem to be promoting it as much, which I can understand because they've got other films coming out. You know, you've got Toy Story, you've had the Avengers film, you've had Spider-Man as well just come out. I can understand why Star Wars is probably a bit on the back burner at the minute, but there was no section, or has been no section, designated to Star Wars for quite a while. And it's kind of weird, especially when I find this. It's a bit sad, really, because, I mean, it's not the one I was hoping to pull out first, but we've got Tora Doza from Star Wars Resistance, Commander Pyre, Major Von Reg, Kaz. This brings me on to another whole kettle of fish, really. I've really enjoyed Resistance. When they released the first trailer, it was like, well, what even is this show? As I started to watch it, I've got into it. It makes for a great figure line. It's the same with Rebels and Clone Wars, even though Rebels didn't really get a particularly great 3/4-inch figure line. But again, this kind of feeds into this. There was 2 other figures that they had that are in the wave, and I didn't really bother with them because I didn't want to go too crazy, because I have already gone crazy this week. But the thing that really annoys me about this figure line, and the same with the Rebels line, was just the lack of waves and selection. This is only the first wave, and we've not had any more waves for this. And for a show that's based on Starfighter pilot racing, we've had no vehicles for it, and it makes 0 sense. I mean, I'm not too big into buying my vehicles, but in terms of a toy line, this is all you've got. And you haven't even got all the main characters yet. And that's something that really bugs me as a collector, when you can't get all the main characters available. It's not too bad for Black Series, because there's that many things coming out that Black Series is always going to kind of keep catching up, and it's for a collector kind of market. These are for kids. It's just kind of been put to the wayside. I don't know what Disney's strategy or Hasbro's strategy is with that. These were just chucked. These were kind of like just chucked to the wayside, hidden away. I wouldn't even seen these if I didn't bother looking around the shop. They had a couple of other bits and pieces on sale, some vintage collection stuff, but as soon as I saw these, I was kind of jumping on them, and I was like, wow, that's like the first time I've seen these at retail. And that's what really annoys me about the Disney Store, is the fact that they're not promoting figure lines such as Solo. They've always got Avengers stuff out on display, out ready for people to buy. And what I really don't want to see happen to this is what happened to the Rebels action figures, where they get integrated into the film tie-in figures. You know, these have their own separate waves, but what would happen with Rebels was they got just thrown in, mixed into assortments of Force Awakens and Rogue One figures, and it made no sense. A lazy way of just filling in character gaps, I suppose. So I don't know, I'm just really curious to hear your guys' thoughts on that, if you could keep a track of that little tangent I had. So yeah, that's my Star Wars figure haul for this week or so. I think I'm just going to have to save me monies for a bit. This is me, Daniel East 1000, signing out, and thank you very much for watching.